I'm the king of the failures. Get down, you dirty failures. Get down. Get down, motherfuckers. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You Have Failed with me, SaiyanVader, where this week we'll be talking about something magical. No, I don't really know where I was going with that. No, we're talking about Primeval, something that I don't know if many people know of, but hopefully you'll know of it some more by the end of this episode. But before we get onto that, I would like to, as I have been doing for weeks now and will continue to do until change has been made for the foreseeable future, is mention that we at SituArts do of course stand with the Black Lives Matter campaign and will continue to support the campaign any way we can, sharing links on social media. I tend to do that on Twitter, is my main way of sharing it. And we do hope we can get equality for everyone one day in the future, and we will keep fighting the good fight to bring about some change. But with all the political stuff out the way, let's get back into the episode proper, where, yes, this week we'll be talking about Primeval, which is something that I did honestly think of last minute because I have been back at work this week, which has been obviously, so I've been a lot more busy. Now I'm back from furlough back at work at the cinema I work at. So yeah, but Primeval, to first get into this wonderful tale, we must go back to the year 2007, where a young SaiyanVader was only no, not really, not fully is not the right word, where a young SaiyanVader was only just realizing his capacity for failure. He was at an age where he was realizing just how much he could fuck up everything he did in life, and he felt good until one evening his mother received a phone call from his nana asking him to be put on the phone. What could she want, he thought. Because I definitely sounded like this when I was 7. What could he want, he thought. He sat down onto the sofa, the TV still playing in the background. She said, "Ewan, have you seen the advert for that new television show, Primeval?" Because that's genuinely how my nan sounds, by the way. Primeval. No, I responded. I have not. What is that about? She went, "Ewan, switch over to insert channel here, because I can never remember if it was BBC or ITV. And if you look on Wikipedia, it says it was ITV and BBC. Because that won't confuse the fuck out of anybody." Yeah. Flick over to channel, insert random number here, and watch the magic happen. So the young SaiyanVader flicked over to channel, insert number here. And lo and behold, there was a trailer for this new televisual program. Sorry for the cough. This new televisual program called Primeval. The young Ewan sat and watched in awe as these images that moved flashed before his eyes. And there, a spark was ignited, where week after week, the young SaiyanVader would watch this televisual program, and after each episode would phone his nana and discuss what had happened in that week's episode and what an absolute banger of a televisual program it was. And this continued for pretty much all 5 seasons of the show, until it eventually got cancelled because insert televisual company that actually produced it here ran out of funding, which is really fucking annoying, as the young SaiyanVader would have said. It is really fucking annoying because they left on a fucking cliffhanger, and who wants to leave it on a cliffhanger? That's not very good, the young SaiyanVader thought. And I mean, I've stretched this joke out for 5 minutes now. You think I can continue? Well, I won't. Yeah, no, they left it on a cliffhanger, which was frankly bullshit. Because it's like, oh, look, in trying to save the future, you made it worse. Which obviously is such a cliche, but I want to see what they've done. I want to see how they fix it. I want more James Lester. Because, oh, and Connor Temple. He's one of the only other good characters left alive. Primeval, starting in 2007. It's a show, it's a British-made show, which is why it's superior, like Doctor Who. Although Doctor Who has a much bigger fan base. But Primeval's brilliant. It has reruns now on Sci-Fi, on Sky. And I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. It's a brilliant TV show. If you want to watch it, to be fair, and not many people who are listening to this can get into contact with me, but I've got all 5 seasons on DVD, boy. Primeval Marathon, anyone? Primeval and chill? No, I will not be distracted with a chill. I want to watch my Primeval. Woo! Young SaiyanVader would be proud. What am I doing with my life? What? Jesus Christ, it's fucking embarrassing. I'm still doing this shit. Yay! No, where was I? Primeval, yes, very good. Niet. Yes, no, so it's quite a weird show. Basically, these rips in the fabric of time and space start appearing, and through them can come over dinosaurs, and eventually creatures from the future start showing up as well. And may I say, the future predators, which is what one of the future species are called, it was the first future species they encountered. It was in the finale of the first series, and first season series. I always get mixed up with what way to call it. I think it's a season and then a series is the whole thing. Yeah, in the first season was when the future predator appeared in the last episode. And yeah, I tell you what, for something that was obviously designed to, they did a good job, because obviously it was a dinosaur themed show. Really, it was the main attraction was dinosaurs coming through the anomalies, and then the ARC team would either have to kill the dinosaur or send it back through if they could. Because they were about preserving life. They didn't want to kill the animals, so they tried to get it through peacefully, but if they couldn't, sometimes they ended up dying, and sometimes the anomalies closed before they could get them back through, so they actually had a menagerie back at their base where they could look after any of the dinosaurs that couldn't get home until they find an anomaly that opens that they can send them back home through. So, it's nice and animal friendly for the most part. Yeah, so the future predators, though, obviously the show's meant to be designed on dinosaurs, and I watched in the behind the scenes thing. Originally, it had a much more dinosaurish design, but then they thought, look, we're trying to make this from the future. We'll give it dinosaur-esque features, but for the most part, if you were to look at the future predator, I think more of like a cross between a bat and a lion. It doesn't have the wings, but it uses echolocation. Not a lion, sorry, a gorilla. I'm thinking of a lion because I'm thinking of the scene. It attacks some lions in like the opening scene of that season finale in the first season. So yeah, it uses echolocation like a bat, and it is said to have evolved from bats. Basically saying when humans die out, it's bats that inherit the earth and they evolve into that, which is quite a cool concept, to be fair. And they're very well designed, and they're very intimidating creatures. I must say, the future predators. They're very intimidating, and they're brilliantly designed, to be fair. I mean, the CGI maybe doesn't hold up as well as it could have done for the most part, but you get that with older shows. Some of Doctor Who's older CGI from like the 2005 revival doesn't always look great today, but you appreciate it because it's got that. I think that's what's British about it. It's not all glamorous and glitzy and polished like some American stuff, but it's still a very good show, and they've got some good actors like Douglas Henschel. What's his James Lester is not his name. Ben Miller. Jesus Christ, I can't. Problem is, I love the show that much that I think of their characters. They got Hannah Spirit from the S Club 7 in to play Abby Maitland, and Connor Temple was Andrew Lee Potts. He's brilliant in it. Connor Temple, which is Andrew Lee Potts, Douglas Henschel's character of Nick Cutter, and Ben Miller's of James Lester are my 3 favourite characters in the whole show. Because Nick, he's just a cool guy. He's just a cool professor who no one actually has at university, who basically is an absolute badass, but not Indiana Jones level badass. Like, he's not some action. Like, don't get me wrong, he does get in a few good punches when he comes into conflict with a bad guy, but he's not an action hero. He's just just a bit cool. Connor Temple, I just relate to because he's just the nerdy guy who is just a nerd, massive nerd. And James Lester is the most sarcastic dickhead I think you're gonna get. Like, in terms of like just being a sarcastic asshole, British television is where you're gonna get the best of that. And I think James Lester is up there for just he wins. He makes me laugh. I think every single scene he's in, especially when he gets shit on by Rex in the first episode. Rex is a flying ancient lizard. I can't think of the name of the species off the top of my head. And it is a really good show. I think seasons 1 and 2 are the best of the show, and I think have the most sort of concrete storylines, like what story ties that go the whole way through. After that, it's because Douglas Henshaw actually left. Oh no, season 3. No, season 3 still got him in it. Sorry, no, he doesn't die in season 2. Douglas Henshaw, Nick Cutter dies in season 3. Spoilers, by the way. That's, I suppose, the problem with You Have Failed. It's very spoiler central, but I think I'm going to be going into plot details. Everyone knows that by this point. But I would fully recommend the show. So watch it anyway. I'll try not to spoil too much. But Nick Cutter dies in season 3. I won't tell you how, I won't tell you when, but he dies. And it's sort of after that it starts to go downhill because you've sort of lost your main character then. And I like the fact they then put Connor Temple as the main character. And he's brilliant. But I don't know the fact he was never made the official leader of the team, which was quite disappointing because that's basically what Nick Cutter asked him to do. But he might as well have been honorary leader for the most part. And to be fair, some of the plot points come from Connor just trying to make Cutter proud. And I like that aspect of it. I just think sometimes without Cutter, it got a bit too big and a bit too ambitious with its storylines. I think Primeval worked because it was more simple. You didn't need a big world-ending event as much. Like, yeah, a world-ending event would be a future predator staying on the loose forever. Like, that'd be terrible. But not like what they did in season 5, where they had a super anomaly that was threatening to destroy the world because it was man-made and it opened thousands around the world all at once, causing this big convergence that had been planned for and people knew were going to happen. And it's so strange. But so if you were to watch it, I'd say season 1 to 3 are probably the best seasons to watch. Season 4 and 5 are still okay. Like, they're not awful. Although I can't remember season 4. I can't really remember season 4. That sucks, doesn't it? Whoopsie daisies. But yeah, I can't remember that. But season 1 to 3 were brilliant. Or they're just 2 seasons with Matt as the leader. Is that how it works? Was there 2 with him? Jesus, I thought it was only 1. I thought it was only season 5. He was a bit of a dull character, that Matt. He was okay, and he was, from the future, I've come from the future to save the future, which would create a fucking paradox, because you would never have been sent back in the first place, but, we don't mention that, because Primeval, and then I'm just boring and don't have emotional range, and, Connor Temple should have been the leader and not me, I don't know why I'm even here, Sorry, he's just a bit boring. I like the fact that the main villain was essentially Nick Cutter's ex-wife, who went missing like 7 years before the show started. It turns out everyone thought she was dead, but in fact she'd actually gone through an anomaly, got stuck, but then became a bit power-hungry and crazy. And so having husband and wife basically be the enemy, but she wasn't like a supervillain. She didn't have any powers. She was just a clever scientist like her husband and knew things about the anomalies through study and stuff, and it was very clever. And I like the fact that in season 3, we're sort of implied in earlier seasons, but in season 3 they sort of make it a concrete thing that in the world of Primeval, things like dragons, the Loch Ness monster and things like that, they are just other creatures that have escaped through anomalies in human history. So there might have been in medieval times an anomaly opened and a Dracorex came through, or a T-Rex came through, and medieval knights thought that was a dragon, and that's where the myth of dragons come from. It was actually a dinosaur escaping through an anomaly. And I liked the fact that they built the lore up like that all myths are real and they are just things that have come from anomalies, and the local people have tried to make understandings of what's been going on. And I say the later seasons don't have any relation to the earlier ones, and that's not true because there is the bit where Cutter tries to use those myths to work out where anomalies have opened in the past, and he starts realizing that they're opening more and more frequently, and that is essentially a plot point that threads into the convergence that happens in season 5. But I just feel like sometimes season 1 to 3 was the most cohesive plot with the most cohesive set of characters because it was by season. You lost Cutter, you'd lost Claudia Brown / Jenny. That's a weird thing that I'll try not to spoil. I might have to go into it. I don't know. You lose them. You lose Stephen. I think Helen, so that would have been Nick Cutter's ex-wife. I think she dies in season 3. But it's where she dies, but she still ends up being the main villain because the villain of the last series was friends with her, and she convinced him to start doing this work, and he thought it was for the good of the planet, but really she just wanted to kill everyone because in her travels through the anomalies, she realised that humans are the bad guys and we should all go extinct. And to be fair, I don't know why anyone argued with her because, I mean, look at us. But I do get it, genocide is not a good thing and it's not kill off the whole human race. That'd be bad. But because she did at one point try to go back in time and to the point of human origin and poison the water supply. It's a bit dark, but it's cool. Primeval is dark at times, There's Danny, he's the leader after Cutter leaves. His brother, he died when he was young, but he's not dead, he's trapped in an anomaly. That's a running theme. Family members get trapped in anomalies a lot. Connor and Abby, they get trapped in an anomaly for a year. They get trapped in the Cretaceous for a year. How the fuck did they not die? I don't get it, but I'm glad they didn't, because Connor Temple is an absolute legend. And to be fair, Becca, who comes in season 3, I think they get Becca in to be their security guy. Maybe it's season 2. It sounds like a season 2 thing. Season 3, I don't know. Season 3, because I remember Cutter didn't like him at first, but they sort of ended up becoming friends in the end. Because Cutter was like, I don't like soldiers. He's got a Scottish accent, Nick Cutter. Yeah, government hacho man. And then, yeah, Becca was good. And then the new computer girl in season 5. Yeah, she had a name. Lucy? Jenny? No, not Jenny. Lucy. Girl's name. She was good as well. I just can't remember her name for life of me because I tend to only watch seasons 1 to 3. I might need to go on a binge watch of all 5 seasons soon. Although I do always skip episode 2 of season 1 because it's got giant spiders in it, and that genuinely makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable because I'm quite severely arachnophobic. But yeah, it's got a horror factor to it at times. It's got like you're being stalked by either a future creature or something from the past, and it's quite bloody and gory at places. Like, they don't shy away from the fact that some of these creatures, don't get me wrong, not all the creatures that come through are harmful. Like, you do get the few that come through that you find out are relatively harmless and they're not the problem. Like, you've got the mammoth. They didn't mean to hurt anyone. It was just lost. It got stuck on a motorway and got lost. You've got the Scootosauruses come through. They're obviously completely harmless. But then you get the other fuckers like Velociraptors, T-Rexes, Spinosaurus, future predators, Silurian scorpions, the giant centipede thing that's poisonous. That guy's a fucker. More Velociraptors. They're a big thing in the dinosaur world, Velociraptors, apparently, which is ironic because in real life they're not very big at all. The mermaid people from the future. Yeah, that's a thing. The crocodile things that killed people that didn't really want to. It's in a later season, obviously, you can tell. The monkey things, I'm not sure if that was the future or the past. The goblin thing from the future that could camouflage and eat people. Yeah, the future ones are obviously all a bit absurd, but they're meant to be. It's a bit of fun. The giant bug things, ooh, not the spiders, they're like giant praying mantises that could fly. Flying praying mantis, simples really. And they get into a fight with the future predators. Oh, the fucking what's his name? Gorgonopsid gets into a fight with the future predator, doesn't he? That's sick. That is a gore. That CGI in that is decent because you can't really see any of the humans in the shot, so it looks amazing. Honestly, I'm talking myself into watching this, so if I haven't talked you into watching it, what are you doing? You know, lead the way. Watch the anomalies today. Hashtag failure. You know, and after making such a stupid caption, it's time to mention my sponsor of the week, which is the same sponsor that it has been for every other week and once again will be for the foreseeable future. That is King Styles Apparel. It's brilliant merch up there at the moment. You've got the new Storm Connect line, or I don't know what that actual collection is called. The Edo line? That doesn't sound right. The Storm line? Stormzy line? Or there's probably copyright on that. The Ninja line? Oh, they should have called it the Ninja line. If they didn't, it's a bit... The Storms Are Coming line. The Sharknado line. The We're Not in Kansas Anymore line. The Storm Ewan, that was the thing a few years ago. Storm Ewan line. The Storms Are Us line. The Ninjutsu Power line. If you can't tell, I literally all these stupid jokes have been me trying to re-jog my mind as what the actual name of the collection is. Hasn't worked. Can't remember, but it's really good. Really, really good. The shirts and hoodies and everything are amazing. Edo, I believe, had designed that himself, maybe with some help from King's Eyes. I could be wrong there. If I am, really sorry to whoever I just offended. Really sorry. They're really good. Obviously, King's Eyes does other brilliant designs, like in what's the collection called? Oh, yes, the Failure collection. Weird, I remember that one. But all the shirts are brilliant. Obviously, I've tried and tested the shirts from the Failure line. I don't own all of them, not yet anyway. But yeah, they're all brilliant. They're so soft, so nice, so well fitted. Tri-blend, I believe. It's all so soft, it's unreal. So please do go check out the King Styles Apparel store. That is obviously links to the kingseyes.life website. You can find it there. And you can search all the stuff. There's phone cases, hoodies, jogging bottoms, shorts. I believe there's sliders or flip-flops and t-shirts and might be hats. And there's going to be lots on there. You know, we're just getting started with this merch store. It's going to keep going, keep pumping up great quality stuff made by Cornelius or any other designers you have involved like Edo. And yeah, honestly, please go check out the store. It's fantastic and you will love the products. And buy my merch because I want more failures to be proud of themselves. That's the thing with my merch. It's showing that you're proud of your mistakes. You're proud of being a fuck up. You're proud of not being perfect. That's who we are. Wear the shirts. Although, trust me, I'm the failure one. I mean, I am the failure. You're all... It's like when the Doctor in Doctor Who is like, I'm not a doctor. I'm the Doctor. The original, you might say. That's me. I'm not a failure. I'm the failure. The original, you might say. That's me. So, you know, lead the way. Buy a failure shirt today. And with that, back to my ill-conceived rant on Primeval. Because, you know, you were loving it before. I'm sorry, guys. No, I'm not. I don't give a shit. You know, hashtag failures. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. I was just on a live stream, downloading a game for about half an hour. Genuinely, this is going completely off topic now, but you expect that with me. I go on tangents. I might have to do a bonus episode just to actually get some Primeval content in this shit now. And in that time, I'll watch seasons 4 and 5 and actually have stuff to say about them. Oh, I could do a bonus episode and claim oh, spoilers. Ooh, you almost got a sneak peek. Ooh. Anyway, yeah, no, I was in a stream before this, not mine. I was in a friend's stream. This is just becoming a conversation now. It's like, chat with SaiyanVader. I need to chat with King's Eyes. And I'm like, that's not me. That's a geezer who's currently in Winchester. You know, that's not, I ain't King's Eyes. I ain't that, you know, good at graphic designing. I'm not good at anything. It's part of my MO. LP, identity, I don't know, making stuff up. Yeah, so genuinely, I just feel like I should share this with the world. So my friend Wes, he does streams at WM Streams on Twitch. He's brilliant. I follow him on Twitter as well. He's fantastic. He does great content. He texted me while I was at work actually. It's like, oh, are you free at 10 o'clock like today? I was like, well, I finish at 10. Well, like, what do you need? He's like, well, I'm doing a stream. I'm starting about 9 o'clock, and then we'll be playing Fall Guys. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll get home. I'll download it and jump on the game. So I get home. I jump on Discord with him and Adam and Bobby, the other two people who were on the stream, and I was like, yeah, I'll just start downloading it because I've upgraded my internet recently, got OpenReach and all that. I was all sick, bruv. The download still hasn't finished, and it's now, what, 2:30 in the morning? So apparently my new really fast internet speed doesn't apply to my PlayStation when it downloads stuff, which is brilliant. So I spent the whole stream just, watching the lag on the stream behind and just chatting with them. So I'd hear Wes like, oh no, I lost, and I'd see it about a minute later on the screen. But it's fine, we were having chats, and right, this is something, anyone who is listening to this now, this is a very important thing, okay? This is very, very important, and stop what you're doing to listen to this right here, right now, right? Because I was having a discussion, and I don't like the fact that they were right. They said there are no kids' films that aren't fucked up in some way, right? Maybe this will be the bonus episode. I don't really know what's going on here. I will figure this out at some point. I'll chat with King's Eyes. He can try and make sense of what's going on here, and we'll figure this shit out. So, genuinely, you just message me, tag me on Twitter, join the Discord server, and at me until I notice your messages. I don't know, fucking send a carrier pigeon to my home. It can replace Pedro, the racing pigeon that I had to release, very depressingly. Okay? Just send me a kid's film that isn't in some way fucked up. Because you were like, the Santa Claus, to become Santa, you have to kill him. That's fucked up, right? You've got Lilo and Stitch, you've got this, the way the Cobra Bubbles character is very on the nose. Any Disney film, by the way, is automatically ruled out. Wally's a cannibal. Cars is set in a post-apocalyptic world and apparently has a strip club advertised on one of the signs. Which, by the way, they missed out on the opportunity to call that Hooters. What a pun, right? So, genuinely, just hit me up on Twitter or join the Discord server and hit me up. And I need an army of children's films that actually aren't messed up in some way to take back to them to prove that there are some kids' films that are purely innocent. I need this. So, please take your time to think about that and do that. It's greatly appreciated. Without further ado, I'll get back to the actual topic of this podcast because I've gone on too much of a tangent, which is Primeval. So, yeah, they actually did a spin-off as well. The Americans tried it. And from what I've learned in my years of life, is that Americans make very good quality film and television, but they don't do it well when they copy us, right? Because best example of that is look at the US Office, right? It's fantastic, but you look at the first season, it's definitely not its best, and that's because they tried to copy, like Michael Scott would not have been the iconic character he was if he stayed a copy of David Brent like he was in season 1. So, the America, was it Primeval New World? You got a few cameos from Andrew Lee Potts as Connor Temple again. But it didn't have much of a link otherwise. But I do like the fact it dealt with the fact that obviously Anomalies didn't just open in the UK. You had the ARC team dealing with it in the UK, but you got to sit there and think they've got to be opening across the rest of the world. So I like the fact that it took that into consideration, that it's not just the UK that has this phenomena, it's the whole world. But they handled it so poorly. So I will say confidently right now, just also to appease King's Eyes, because nothing ever fails on this apparently, which I suppose is kind of true. Primeval New World. You have failed. You're just an embarrassment to the UK. This is another US versus UK debate I'm getting into now, like the Millie O'Connell episode. But she's the better Anne Boleyn and we know it. And Primeval is the better Primeval over Primeval New World. It's honestly dog shit. The one good thing to come out of it was the fact that there was a Primeval New World app they released where you could sort of film yourself doing something, and then the app would superimpose dinosaurs walking around. Like there was one with like a giant anaconda thing, I can't think of the name of it. There was one with a T-Rex, there was a pterodactyl, there was a velociraptor. The velociraptor attacked you. The best one I did, I really hope I've got that video on YouTube. If it's not, I've got that video on my hard drive and I might post it to YouTube, where I did like a loop of the Primeval theme tune over these clips I filmed of like me and my brothers getting attacked by these dinosaurs. And there's one, my brother gets attacked by the snake, and as he acts and falls down, he actually hits his funny bone on a guitar. And so it looks like he's really good at acting, at being in pain, but he was genuinely in pain, like a lot of pain. I was wetting myself. I shouldn't have kept filming. That's a terrible thing to do, but I did. So if that's not already on YouTube, I will find that on my hard drive, and I will upload the Primeval Loop video just so people can see this. And King's Eyes, if you're listening, can we just find a way to like link that video to your website? Just, we can even crop it down. I'll crop it to just my brother. This is really meta because I'm talking to you and I know you can hear me, but you're nowhere near here at the moment. So we'll crop out the bit of my brother hitting his funny bone and we'll just put that on the website. So, like, just like You've Been Framed. We can discuss that. People need to see this. It's just funny. It just really is. Anyway, so Primeval New World was shit. It's failed, but it did give me a funny moment with my brother. And that's the thing, the show was really good. I genuinely would. If anyone out there is curious and thinks it might interest them, dinosaurs, just cool British television, really. I'd fully recommend the show. As I say, after season 4 and 5, they're not bad. I make it sound like they're awful. They're not. They're just not as good, I don't think, as season 1 and 2 is the height of Primeval. Season 3's not bad, and neither is season 4 and 5. I just think the reason I still include season 3 in the better side is because I think it's still more cohesive with the previous 2 seasons. Whereas because Nick Cutter's gone and everything, seasons 4 and 5 seem more like their own little soft reboot, if that makes any sense. But still keeping some of the old characters, but they do reset the arc. The arc looks different. And yeah, it's just a different group dynamic. So yeah, it's not as bad. It's just more of a soft reset. So I group season 3 with the better ones, but the 2 best seasons are season 1 and 2, if I'm completely honest. But they're all brilliant in their own right, and they've all got good episodes. I would say they've all got bad episodes, but I can't think of a bad episode for season 2. Although there's probably one that I choose not to watch. The Silurian Scorpion one, I suppose, is a bit long, but it was a bit long. They're all the same length, you fucking idiot. But genuinely a really good show, and as I say, I wish I could tell you it was made by the BBC or the ITV, because I swear when you put the DVD in, it does the BBC logo. But then I look online and it says it's also ITV, and I just can't for the life of me see how ITV and BBC both produced and released this on their channels. So I don't really know what's going on there. But I genuinely do remember getting the phone call from my nan. It was a similar phone call I got when Arrow was coming out. And we did the same thing every week where we'd watch it and then discuss the episode afterwards in a phone call. So it was a fun little thing for me and my nana, and that's, I think, why I hold the show in such high esteem. It's got a connection with me and my nana, that Primeval, as does Arrow, to be fair. Although Arrow is probably one of my favourite, if not my favourite, TV shows of all time. Once again, season 1 and 2 being the height of it. But Primeval was the first thing I sort of did that with her. She knew I liked dinosaurs, but she was interested as well, and we just discussed it every week, and we got really invested. Like, every time there's a cliffhanger, we'd like, oh my god, the season 5 cliffhanger where they leave it, and we're like, oh my god, what's going to happen? And then we found out the show was fucking cancelled. Oh, we were livid. I was like, no, you can't leave it there. To this day, genuinely, so this is what, I don't know when it ended. When did Primeval end? It must have been, 2000, I had 5 seasons, so we're going to assume 2012? Weirdly enough, this year Arrow started. That's really weird. 2012, that's mental. Or it might have been 2011, but it's weird that it was just before Arrow. That's sort of weird how that worked out. We stopped watching that to then watch that. But yeah, 2011, that's mental. Genuinely, to this day, I'm still sitting here hoping they somehow revive the series and give me a resolution to that cliffhanger. I looked online and there's, I think, a fan made season 6, and it's meant to carry on the story, and that's great, but I want an official one. I want an official answer to what happened. Because the thing is, it's not like some shows where they intentionally leave you on a cliffhanger and end it to, be ambiguous. This wasn't planned. They were planning on continuing this story. There was meant to be a resolution to this, and we just never got it. And to this day, what is this, 9 years later now? I'm still sitting here hoping that somehow, some way, I get a Primeval season 6. No, Primeval New World doesn't count. I want a real Primeval season 6 where I actually get fucking answers to everything that happened. Literally, I'm living. I want Nick Cutter to come back. I don't care how. Cloning's a thing in this universe. It's been proved. They've done it in Primeval. Bring back Nick Cutter, right? And just have my old arc team. You can even bring back Steven if you want. He wasn't my favourite character, but bring him back, whatever. Whatevs. Fucking Steven, I cheated on my best mate with his wife. Like, ooh. No. Well, he didn't cheat on him. He helped his wife cheat on him. That's not the point, right? I say that about Nick. Yeah. Spoilers. Yeah, I wish it would come back. Genuinely, I don't know if I've got that across enough. I do wish it would come back. It'd be brilliant if it did. Really brilliant, because I feel like the show's severely underrated. Although I did look on IMDb, it's got like 7 point something. And on Google, it's got like a 93% like positive audience rating. So, it gets some appreciation. I don't think it gets talked about as much as it should. For a show as brilliant as it was. So the CGI was really good. And while some of it doesn't look too great anymore, it's still not bad. But it is a mature show. Like, people get brutally murdered. You don't always see the murders on screen, but you'll see like parts of their body being dragged around. There's the one where the saber-toothed tiger turns on the woman that's raised it from being a baby and just eats her. And then they pretend it died and then it didn't. And then they kick it in the face. And then the future predators are, ripping people to shreds. And that's a thing. And then someone stabs themselves in the leg and cuts their leg open. I don't really know what that bit was about. I still don't know what that scene's about, if I'm honest. The Mosasaurus eats a guy and then regurgitates the bits he didn't want to swallow. Yeah, it's not dark, but it's realistic. It's admitting the fact that if dinosaurs were around, and they were coming through these portals, that people would die and it wouldn't always be pretty. A bit like Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park was, where it was more brutal murders on the people. T-Rex flat out eats people and Velociraptors ripping them apart. You get Samuel L. Jackson's arm falls down, like that sort of stuff. And Primeval does that, but to a much bigger extreme, where it does fully admit that people are dying in this place, and some people get killed by the humans as well. It's awful. But when I say awful, it's not. It's realistic, and it went for that. Not everyone survives. The main characters die in the line of fire or whatever. And yeah, it's... So maybe if you don't like that sort of stuff, and maybe some people do think that's dark, and it's not. I just think it's graphic but realistic. As realistic as it can be if you've got dinosaurs coming through magic rips in time and space. But it does have the humour as well. So James Lester is a very funny character, like dry, witty humour. You've got Connor Temple, who's just funny, really, Connor. It's funny. Even Nick Cutter has a few jokes going in there, and the banter between the characters, I think, is very good. They got a good cast, good writers, and the cast have very good rapport anyway. Sorry, excuse me. So, yeah, the banter is very good as well, and it's a show that you can enjoy. Like, it's got the humour, it's got the adventure, it's got the danger, it's got the little jump scares and everything going on, and it's got the sci-fi. If you love dinosaurs, it's a very good show. If you love British television, but when I say British television, I mean like story-based television and not soaps like EastEnders. Although you might like it if you like EastEnders, you never know. You might like EastEnders, but also be a big fan of Doctor Who, which I hope you are. If you're not a fan of Doctor Who, you're not really British, are you? Like, oh, I'm British, but I don't actually like any of Doctor Who. Ooh, fucking idiots. Right. There's got to be a bit of Doctor Who you like, let's be fair. Same with Primeval. And that's the thing, Doctor Who has obviously reached cult status around the world and it deserves it. But I genuinely think that Primeval should have more of a following as well. It should, and because the actors were all brilliant, and don't get me wrong, they've all gone on to do other brilliant things. Ben Miller is a legend in himself, but I do think the show deserves more of a reputation, and that's why I'm doing this. I really hope it gets more... It gets more spotlight, and people go and watch it and realise this is brilliant, and go share it around, and go, Primeval, what a solid show. And it's just it's just fantastic. It's the other reason I'm doing it. It just needs the recollection, and do you know what else it needs? a fucking 6th season. I'm really curious to how that bit sounded because I literally went right up to my mic for that. So that'll be interesting. But it does need that 6th season, genuinely, I think. Just finish. I just want an answer to the cliffhanger. One more season. That's all I need. One season to answer the cliffhanger. Tell me what happened, and then just end the season properly at the end of season 6. It's all I'm asking for. One season. Just one. ITV, BBC, whoever it was who made it. Get on that for me. It's like Terra Nova. That's another show we're not talking about. That was really good. That was my replacement for Primeval. It came out, must have been in 2011. So the gap between fucking Primeval and Arrow. It was another brilliant show. It was set, but people went back to dinosaur times because human civilization had basically wiped itself out. We were overpopulated, so we sent people back to the past to live there, and that's also another weird paradoxing. But whatever, doesn't matter. It was a really good show. Oh, but you only get one season. I can't even remember. I know there was a cliffhanger at the end of that as well. I need to rewatch Terra Nova as well. That doesn't get appreciated enough as well. Although I think that one was American because I'm pretty sure that had Naomi Scott in it. Although she is English, so maybe it was English. Naomi Scott, by the way, is in Lemonade Mouth in Disney and is a Power Ranger and also plays Princess Jasmine in the most recent live action Aladdin remake. And yeah, she was the Pink Power Ranger in the not so great but not completely awful live action Power Rangers reboot. She was the Pink Ranger. So yeah, I think she's actually English. So maybe Terra Nova was English, and that's another show like Primeval. I think deserved more credit. But I think that was American actually because it was on Sky. But yeah, Primeval just deserves so much more credit and deserves a season 6. But that's about it, I think, for this week's episode. And you might be getting a bonus. I don't know what I'm doing with that. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, to be fair. You know, it's just very hot at the moment. And I'm very delusional. I'm sure you can tell. But yeah, it's safe to say, Primeval, you have not failed, but you have actually failed to give me a 6th season. So take that as you will. But as a show, it hasn't failed. It's just, failed because it hasn't given me the fucking last season I want. But then by that degree, Arrow's failed for ending. So that doesn't really count. No, you haven't failed. You're a brilliant show. And please, anyone out there who is listening, who's even slightly interested, do give the show a chance. I've got the DVDs, so send your carrier pigeons. Or find it online and then let me know you watched it. And also answer my question about children's films. This is a desperate situation. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We had brilliant results last week's episode for UFL. I think it was 19 in the first day, listeners. That is amazing. I can't thank you enough. Really can't thank you enough for everything you do for this podcast. So please do follow me on Twitter. If you do enjoy the podcast and do want to become a failure today, please do join the Discord server. That's a great way to get to know me and anyone else who eventually joins it and build up a really, really good community of supportive people who are all there to help and fail together. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, again, my failing little heart, thank you so much for listening, guys. And, well, I'll speak to you next week.